Okay, so May 2020. Out of the way. It's just old scrap paper. Okay, so May 2020, game 4. All right, during an 8-day theater festival, exactly 6 plays will be performed. So 8 days, but we only have 6 players. And there will be 1 performance each day, pardon me. So that does mean that we're either using one of our players 3 times or 2 of them twice each to make up that difference between the 6 players and the 8 positions that we have to fill. Okay. The play performed on day 1 must also be performed on day 5. And the play performed on day 2 must also be performed on day 7. M and O cannot be performed on consecutive days. For at least 1 performance of H, the next play performed must be M. Okay, so that has to happen at least once. It's not going to be able to happen twice because the players that occur twice, or the plays that occur twice, are the box and the circle, and the orientation of the box and the circle isn't like that, right? So this HM thing can certainly happen in the box and the circle, but then when H and M appear again, they would have to be separated by 1 player, so they wouldn't actually be consecutive. So this orientation is definitely going to happen exactly once, not more than once, even though they tell us that it happens a minimum of 1 time. It's based on the other rules, it has to just be exactly once. It's not really a minimum, it's a minimum and a maximum. Okay, there must be a performance of J at some time before any performance of H. So J before any H. Okay, so the reason I am not connecting these guys immediately is because it is possible to have M before J before H and M, and I don't want us to get confused and think that J has to be before M all the time. J would have to be before this box because J has to be before any performance of H. Okay, so just a clarification there that that is possible, but I don't want to keep that because I don't want it to be confused for like a concrete rule. Okay, so we can go through for 18 and find the rule breakers. All right, so M and O can't be side by side, so I'm just looking for a case where they are, and I see that with answer choice C. We have to have J before H, so D is out. H has to be immediately before M at least once, B is out, and 1 and 5 have to be the same, and 2 and 7 have to be the same. So 1 and 5, 1 and 5, 1 and 5. Okay. And 2 and 7, so E, we have a problem there. Okay, so J is 2nd, but then J is 6th, so should be 2nd and 7th, not 2nd and 6th. So E is out. A is the correct answer. So I'll write this guy out. Okay, so M and O are separated, right? We have 1 and 5 and 2 and 7. We have our little HM that happens once, and we have J before H. So that one checks out. That goes in the bank of acceptable solutions. Question 19 asks which one of the following must be false. So must it be false that Ghosts performs on day 2? Let's check it out. So we could have HM here, J, M, O, and L. So just creating a possible solution there, testing to see if it could be true. Since it can be true, A is not the correct answer, but we do get to keep this for the bank of acceptable solutions. So eliminate A. Ghosts on 5, we know that that's possible, so we can eliminate that. H on day 2. So H on day 2 would mean H is also on day 7, would mean J is on day 1 and 5, not a problem there. I did kind of scan ahead really quickly and see that H on day 5 is answer choice D. If H is on 5, then H should also be on 1, but J is supposed to be before any performance of H, so H cannot be on day 1, therefore it cannot be on day 5, and D is the correct answer. D must be false. Okay. Question 20. If O is performed on day 3, okay, so we've got our circle, or sorry, our square, and our circle here. I'm just gonna write it with a little loop there to distinguish it from the circle. So if O is on day 3, that means M cannot be on day 2, cannot be on day 4. If it can't be on day 2, it can't be on day 7. Oh, and I messed that up. Here we go. Okay. So M can't be 2nd, can't be 4th, can't be 7th, because it can't be next to O ever. And then we have to have H and then M right after. So we could have HM there, right? That's possible. So I'll write that one out. J would have to be there, and then we'd have L and G. Okay, what else is possible? All right, so M could be here. It could also be there. Oh, but then H would be 5th, which is not allowed. Okay, so can't have that one, but let's try H. Oh no, M can't be there, so this could be H and then M. Oh, and this is H, then this is J. Then we've got, okay, so J would be in here, and then here we have LG, GL. So hopefully that made sense. You could follow that, but these are just the possibilities that I have with O being on day 3. So which one of the following could be true? Could G be on day 2? No. Could H be on day 2? Yes. I believe so. H on day 2. Have I done something wrong there? O is on 3. G. Okay, loot on day 1 is not possible. Loot on day 7 also isn't possible, and Macbeth on day 7 is not possible. Yeah, so it's got to be B, H on day 2. Good. So I just double checked that one as well by making sure that all of the other answers must be false. Okay. #21. If H is performed on day 2, then J is on day 1, and on day 5, and H is also on day 7. And then M is either 3rd or 8th. So I could test out those two options, right? So here we would know that that's not going to be O there, but that's all we can really say. And yeah, L and G are wild, so yeah, it doesn't affect too much. So what could be true? Ghosts on day 1? No. J on day 3? No. Loot on day 8? Yep, I would say so. Okay. Macbeth on day 4, no. Macbeth is either 3 or 8. And O on day 5, nope, because J has to be there. So C is the correct answer. L could be on day 8. That's totally possible, but yeah, none of the other ones are going to work. 22. If M is on day 2, so then it's also on 7. H can't be first because J has to be ahead of any performance of H. So H would have to be before M over here. And what else can we know to be true? So J has to be sometime before H. We could have GG or LL, OO. No, we can't do that. So let's be careful about where we try to put O, because we have 2 M's. So O can't be first or third. If it can't be first, it also can't be fifth. So O actually has to be fourth. And it's a must be true question, so that is actually answer choice E. So O has to be fourth here for sure. So having those 2 M's, definitely we need to make sure that we're paying attention to this rule here as well, and not just the rule about H and M. All right, last question. If L is performed on day 7, if it's on 7, it's also on 2. Right, and O is on day 8, right? So we don't have to worry about the OM situation. Which one of the following must be true? Okay, so H and M, that little box there, I'm going to be concerned about those guys. So we could have them here, and then we could have J in 1 and 5, and G 6th, or we could have HM here, J, and ooh, G is 6th again, so that's what they have in common. What must be true? G is performed on day 6, which is answer choice A. All right. So hopefully that one helps. I think that went a little bit more smoothly than game 3. But again, I think I may have been doing a little bit in my head. So if there's anything that you'd still like clarification on, please let me know. And I'd be happy to provide that. All right.